Hey folks, Crazy Collaborator here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called Dungeon Magic. This was created by Taito in 1993, and this was suggested by YouTube user PS Jedi, I believe. But this is, you can play up to 4 players at once, and it's set in a fantasy type setting. This game is also known as Lightbringer. I had never seen this in US arcades, but it's got good graphics. The action is kind of cool, but it's so long. Each level is several rooms. Here are the characters. There's Ash. He's a human knight. There's Gren, I think his name is. It's hard to read the Old English letters. Sissy or Sisty is an elf. And Vold is a wizard. But you each have you can do like a little combination of regular attacks, like repeatedly hitting the attack button. And you can do like a dash attack by pressing twice in one direction quickly. You can hold the A and B buttons together to do a special attack.
Dungeon Magic.
And you can charge an attack by holding down the fire button or the A button or whatever, and then release later, and you'll do a really strong attack. I didn't really do that during the game, but I'll show you what it looks like later on. But yeah, you can play all 4 characters at once if you like. And you can grab enemies when you get close and throw them. It's kind of the same trappings of the usual beat-em-up of the time. And that I think was a charge attack of his. You can get stronger attacks by continually destroying objects and picking up items that give you experience points. And you'll level up that way. And there's the elf. She's an archer. But, yeah, we'll look at the charge attacks for each character later on. I'll play all 4 characters at once at the end of this video. But there will be various treasures, and some of the treasures can attack you, or they can unleash items that hurt you, and there's her special attack A and B together. You don't lose energy by doing the A and B attack as the special attack, as most beat-em-up games will have you do. Those crystals and treasures and stuff will give you experience points, and there will be food items that you can collect to get your energy back. You have a very, very small life bar, which really sucks. But the levels are huge, and there are a ton of connecting rooms, and you just gotta find the exit. Sometimes the exit will be open, and here it tells you how to do the controls. But you can get special weapons like axes or crossbows or something that you can use like once or maybe a handful of times. There's a typical pro recycling message that a lot of arcade games in like maybe the late 80s and 90s had during the attract mode. But here in this tavern, we get to select which player we want to use. And again, if you can have 4 people playing at once. You are timed for each room, and if you run out of time, you lose a life. And your time gets restored once you leave the room. In some rooms, there will be a you can destroy the chairs, you can destroy the table. But for each room, you have a finite amount of time to get out of to go out the exit, and sometimes the exit will be in plain sight, Sometimes it will be blocked off and you have to kill all the enemies, or you have to find a certain switch you have to step on in order to open the door. And there's this gal that gets captured, and I think she eventually gets killed, unless I'm confusing her with some other gal that gets captured. And there was my special attack A and B together. And there I threw an enemy because I got close and grappled with them. You can jump onto higher ledges, like if there's boxes or crates or something, you can jump onto them. You don't need to in this game. There's really no benefit that I could tell. I've never seen this in arcades. Like I said before, this is both known as Dungeon Magic and Lightbringer. I think Lightbringer was the Japanese name for this game. Oftentimes, if you don't have to fight the enemy, watch out for these guys. They will spit poison at you, and the poison will hurt you, and it'll last for a little while before the effect wears off. But if you see that a door is already open and there's enemies, just don't bother with the enemies. Just go out the door. Like I said before, you're timed. Just keep moving. The levels are so long. There's so many rooms. And there's different ways you can go about to get to the end room and fight the final boss. On later levels, you will need to take elevators down to lower floors, and you have to hit this crystal thing in the center of the room in order to activate the elevator. But you see the map and the progress I've made on the map, much like in the first Zelda game or in Kid Icarus. If I were to make a list of the greatest Nintendo games of all time, number one on my list, I'm going with The Legend of Zelda. I think that was the best NES game of all time. A lot of people are going to say Metroid or maybe Castlevania or something. Those are definitely top 10. Super Mario Brothers 2 for me is way up there too. I never really got into Super Mario Brothers 3 as I did 2. Thought 2 was just brilliant. And of course that was not supposed to be a Mario Brothers game. See, I stood on the Switch and opened up the doors. It was originally called Doki Doki Panic, and the Mario characters were not in the game initially. And here I have to activate a switch to keep that spiked floor from stabbing me as I go out here. Yeah, sometimes there'll be conveyor belts you have to walk across. And here is a mini-boss. You will find mini-bosses. Don't touch the snake's body. The snake is in this area is a pain in the butt. What you want to do is fire off that A and B attack and keep hitting his head as much as you can. But yeah, just touching his body hurts you, and he can swallow you and kill you if your energy is low. I like the voice work. You have powered up. The graphics in this game are very good. And it is 1993, so they should be somewhat decent at least. There, I killed him. You see his energy bar at the bottom. You get a lot of experience up icons after he dies. Now they disappeared pretty quickly. You can hurt the bosses by throwing enemies at them. But any kind of statue or crate, you can destroy, and it'll usually unleash something. And I think I mentioned before, it could be something that can hurt you. Sometimes it unleashes some sort of spell that freezes you, or can turn you into a toad or something. These little slimes here. Touching that fire doesn't hurt you. Probably shouldn't have messed with these slimes over here. I got a little bit of food. Bring my energy back up just a smidge. Yeah, you can even destroy boulders. Yeah, the stacking items on top of each other like treasure chests or rocks really doesn't help you. It's kind of broken physics there. Yeah, I think maybe it's the first couple levels are more straightforward, and then after that you have to take elevators to get to where you want to go. But yeah, there will be multiple paths you can take to get to the next room oftentimes. You can stab a skeleton that's laying on the ground or attack them, and oftentimes they'll break apart and yield some sort of item. And now we've got these flying bats. I think these bats can maybe cast spells on you, like turn you into a toad. I think they can turn you into a duck or something. But yeah, if you can't seem to open the doors, then you probably have to destroy a statue and then jump on a little switch underneath it. And now we're gonna face this boss here. And he's the guy with the big old sword. He likes to charge at you, and he can grab you and throw you. With one A and B special attack, you can get a couple hits on the boss. So just make sure that you slide at him as you're slinging your sword around. And while you're moving around, maybe try to destroy objects. Ah, crap. Try to destroy objects so that you can get food out of them, maybe. Now this time I'll play as, what's his name? Gren. And he's just kind of a bruiser guy. He can do a dash attack by pressing double left or double right real quick. I'm not much of a fan of him. Ash is not a bad character used. You can't pick up his sword. And some characters can't use certain items that another character dropped. There was his A and B attack. I'm standing on top of a pillar. In some instances, for some characters, it's advantageous to stand on top of a pillar or a crate or something and attack enemies that are below you. And there, I killed the boss. What on earth was I doing here? You must continue to work for me until I obtain... I didn't read it all. I guess some of the bosses that you fight aren't inherently evil. When you defeat a boss, there'll be 4 treasure chests that land, and you want to collect everything from them. But you'll have like 2 minutes to beat each room, or to find the exit of each room. And again, if you beat like all the enemies in the room, but you don't know how to get out of the room, destroy all the chests and stuff around the room, and there might be a switch underneath one of them, and you need to stand on it, and then the door will open. Sometimes the enemies seem to be able to get the drop on you. The rooms are set up in like a 3/4 degree direction, or 3/4 perspective, but you can't really... Well, I guess it's 8 directional movement with the joystick, but it still kind of gets confusing when you're trying to fight enemies. Sometimes you're not on the right plane to attack them, but they can attack you. And sometimes there will be switches on the wall, and you'll need to flip the switches. There might be one switch that's the one you want to pull, and then there might be a bad switch that'll drop a trap on you. And there's like one notorious room later on in the game that you have a bunch of switches, and you need to pull them in the correct order in order to get out. There we go. They both had to be down, I guess. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, and hope you have a nice Thanksgiving coming up. Don't know if you plan on doing Black Friday, but I really don't want to get up that early, but I probably will this year, just for a little bit, maybe get back to sleep for a little while. It'll just be one more day of work. That's all right. I don't get Black Friday off. The only thing I really need to buy are some more socks. And there is an image of a gal that you need to save, and I think that you are unable to save her. She dies later on in the game. But yeah, we'll look at all the different characters a little bit later. I skipped ahead, I think maybe starting here. Yeah. There. That's his special attack. Zip ahead a little bit. Note the floor is a little bit slick. But now we'll play as the elf, and she has a crossbow. Again, she can use it by like holding down the fire button a little bit, and there's her special attack. I don't know exactly how high your levels can go up. The highest I ever got was, I think, like 7, maybe 8. I do like that flip body slam attack. You grab them with your legs and slam them on the ground. Yeah, she got poisoned. Oh, she recovered quickly, I guess. Damn it. We'll scoot forward a little bit. At this point, I chose the wizard. I'm trying to remember the names. Ash was the human knight. Grin was the brawler. Sisti was the elf. I think that's her name. It was hard to read the Old English letters. And Vald is the magician. And he just died there. And here's his special attack. But yeah, I didn't use the charge attack yet for any of the characters, but I will show you what it looks like for all of them a little bit later, after I beat the game. This game is way too long. I don't like games that are super long for the arcade. I think if they're gonna be long, it should be a home port, and you should be, in the comfort of your own home, instead of standing up in the arcade all that time. And here is the boss room. And yeah, that's the gal, and she dies. Don't come near, I'm finished. Don't worry, you'll meet her soon. And she gets transformed into some spider creature. You have to beat her. You can't save her. She'll jump every so often, and if she hits you when she's jumping, she'll hurt you. I'd never seen this in arcades, never heard of it until MAME came along. But it is also known as Lightbringer, not just Dungeon Magic. I think Dungeon Magic is the American name, and that Lightbringer is the Japanese name. I don't know what all home systems this appeared on. I'm sorry, Fontaine, I could not save you. Yep, she dies. I think for these treasures, the 4 treasures that drop down after you beat the boss, you just need to touch the treasures. You don't have to slash them to unveil their contents. I think starting on this level, you'll need to activate some elevator switches to go to different parts of the level. But yeah, again, some of the treasures or pillars even, when you destroy them, they might unleash traps, or you might get frozen, or you might get like frozen right there, or you might get poisoned or something, frozen again. Alright, I stood on a trap and activated the elevator. Yeah, the graphics are very nice. They're like Capcom beat 'em up quality. You can't fall off cliffs in this game, don't worry. I hate the bats, and I hate those flying gargoyle things, flying demons. Here is the thing that you need to set the switches up just right. So look at the way that I've got those switches. You need to have those just right to go out the exit, to open up the exit door. I moved back to Ash, and I gave myself infinite energy. I just wanted to make it through the game as quickly as possible. He turned me into a toad. And that's that magician guy that was supposed to be helping me, I guess, or supposedly helping me in the game. He's evil, and he's trying to control the final boss, which is a little bit later. But right now I have to kill this flying dragon. Really, you want to have multiple players playing at once to make the game easier, because the game is so damn long. But with your charged attacks, you can hurt each other, so space yourselves out. But I'll show you later on what it looks like to control all 4 players playing at once. Again, the characters are named Ash, and he's that character right there, my character. He's a knight. And there's a brawler named Gren. There's an elf named Sisty. And there's a magician named Vald. And again, if you don't see a door opened up, you don't know how to get out, break all the statues, break all the boxes, everything. We're just skipping ahead a little bit. There's no way I would show you every single room in the game. That would take way too damn long. But now, here he is, and I am at the very end now. This is the boss room. He makes this demon rise from the ground, and he ends up not being able to control it, and it hurts him. This wasn't in this scenario. It kills him. No, you will not. Yeah, this guy's a pain in the butt. His life bar is obscenely long. It sucks that your life bar is so damn short. Yeah, my cheats are infinite. You have a finite amount of special moves, I think, that you can do. The A and B button. But note that it says time over. I ran out of time, but I gave myself like infinite life or something so that I can't die. Well, that is Dungeon Magic, also known as Lightbringer, and that is the end of the game there. Thank you for saving myself and the world. I'm not the only person to be thanked. Well, yes, you are the only person to be thanked, because I didn't play with any other players. You don't really need to do anything here. You'll automatically, the game will end soon enough. And there we are. And I'm outside with this bard. And I'm sure all the other players would be joining me if they all played together at the same time. There's Ash and his father right there. Swirling leaves in the wind. And now we see the credits. But that was Dungeon Magic by Taito in 1993, suggested by YouTube user PS Jedi, I believe it was. And this game was also known as Lightbringer. Or no, this was suggested by Be Nice 1, I think. At any rate, I had never seen this in arcades. It's way too long. The graphics are lovely. Very, very, very nice. But yeah, just too long. And if you're gonna play, get some people to play with you. And space yourselves out so you don't accidentally hit each other and cause damage. Yeah, I'm not sure what home ports this got. This might have been on the Genesis. I don't remember though. Hope you were able to watch some good football today. Hope your team won. My team sure as hell didn't. I was pretty disappointed. At any rate, that is Dungeon Magic by Taito in 1993. And now I'll put in my initials. There we go. Good graphics, good music, very nice, but it is way too damn long, and you've got to have multiple players playing at once. It is Dungeon Magic, also known as Lightbringer, by Taito in 1993. I was not a big fan of this game, really. I mean, I love the graphics and the music, but just too damn long. Hard to stick with it.
Dungeon Magic.
And here is the 4 players playing at once. And we can do the charge attack. Just hold down the A button and then release when glowing. But you can hurt each other with it, so stay off in your own corners on the screen, just to be safe. Or maybe it costs you some energy to use that charge attack. Well, at any rate, that was Dungeon Magic by Taito in 1993, also known as Lightbringer. Well, this is Crazy Clamor saying thanks for watching, and I will catch you later with another video. Hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving next week. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.